We're pleased to welcome Mike Richardson today. Mike is a scientist turned engineer, manager, executive and CEO, also an author, a keynote speaker, and the leading expert in the concept of implementing agility for success in business. Mike has been said to help ordinary people achieve extraordinary things, pioneering new mindsets, skill sets, and tool sets to develop agility and putting executives in the driving seat of their businesses. Mike, welcome.
Yeah, it's good to be here, Roy. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about this whole concept of agility and define what that means to CEOs and executives.
Essentially, it's the ability to adapt in this increasingly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. There's an acronym for that, VUCA.
VUCA.
Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, which seems to be coming at us thicker and faster than ever before in an increasingly time-compressed way. If VUCA exceeds our agility, VUCA is full of threat.
So are people just paralyzed at this point, not knowing where to move, when to move, and how to move?
Yeah, indeed. And if you fall behind the curve, if you get flat-footed, if you're on the back foot, then VUCA is full of threat because your agility is less than VUCA. But if your agility is more than VUCA, then VUCA is full of opportunity. It's full of upside. It's full of potential and promise and lots of possibilities for a very bright future.
You say that agility is king, cash is not king, agility is king.
Correct.
Explain that.
So we've heard cash is king for so long.
Right.
But if that was the case, then BlackBerry would never have gone from boom to almost bust because
Right.
BlackBerry had piles of cash. So actually, agility is king. Cash is a way of keeping score.
Right.
And agility is something which is hard for people to understand. They often get confused, they misinterpret, they misunderstand what it is. So it's really important to get clear what is agility and what is it not.
Well, then let's take a look at this model of agility, the agile model, and we see it on screen now. Walk us through the steps and how it is that we implement these for achieving agility.
First thing is to anticipate change, clearly. That VUCA that's coming at us thicker and faster than ever before, we've got to look through it with foresight and predict and see the trends taking shape, see them early, and be ready to anticipate that change. So that's the A of Agile. The G is generating confidence. So how are we going to generate the confidence as a team, as an organization, as a leader, that indeed we can be ahead of VUCA? We can find the opportunity inside of VUCA. The I is initiating action. We can't think about VUCA for very long because it's going to pass us by real soon. Right. We've got to get into action. And then we've got to liberate thinking, which is the L, be increasingly creative, and then we've got to evaluate the results, and we've got to keep going around this agile model as a loop with a faster and faster and faster cycle. Otherwise, we're going to get left behind.
Where do companies get stuck in this model? Is it generating confidence? Is it liberating thinking because they've done the same thing for so long in one way, unconventional change?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, that the loop can go open loop in any of those areas.
Right.
Some organizations are very good at anticipating change, but they really can't, and liberating thinking and evaluating results and even generating confidence, but they don't initiate action.
Right.
They think about it for too long and they fall behind the curve. Other companies are good at everything else, but they don't anticipate change very well. They're stuck. They're seeing the world in an outdated, used up, old mental model paradigm lens, and as a result, they're going to become irrelevant very soon.
Are there certain profiles of companies that stand to benefit by this agile model, or is this universal, completely scalable, smallest company to the biggest?
That's the interesting thing. I'm blessed to work with everything from startups to global companies, high tech, low tech, for-profit, not-for-profit, new economy, old economy, local, regional, national, global, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The challenge is all the same. And it's not so much the profile of the company, it's the profile of the CEO and the senior team in particular. And do they show up as an agile leadership presence, or do they show up as a fragile leadership presence? And everything else will flow from there.
And so they have to have the willingness to take the step, to buy into the process, to execute all of these steps in order to be agile in their business.
They have to be ready, willing, and able.
Right.
Are they ready? Have they experienced enough pain? They've had enough upset that VUCA has defined them rather than them defining VUCA? Are they fed up with that? Are they ready? Are they willing? Do they want to? Are they able? Do they know how? So are they ready, willing, and able to become truly an agile leadership presence? Because then VUCA is full of opportunity.
So it's overcoming VUCA, it's streamlining and eliminating chaos and applying this process.
Indeed it is.
Okay.
And I like to say there are two kinds of chaos. There's disorganized chaos where
Right.
the majority live, and there's organized chaos where the minority live. And the challenge for people is to move from the majority to the minority.
Mike Richardson, the new book is called Cracking the Agile Code, to be published in 2017.
Indeed.
Wish you the best. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.